Hey everybody, welcome back, and welcome back to a video that incorporates the Mach 1. It's been quite some time since I've made any sort of video on the Mach 1, and I do want to tell you why, and then we'll dive into something that a ton of you folks have said I should have installed from the get-go. I wound up getting these for Christmas, believe it or not, so a few months ago, and we're going to go ahead and throw them on the car now so you can see how that all works. Hopefully it's not too hard. The other thing I want to talk about is just why I haven't been making videos of the Mach 1, what I've been doing in the meantime, and update you with some of my other car projects. So let's get into what we're installing today. I've got this old cabinet that I got here. I try to keep all my parts that I want to save to be relatively nice in here. Some stuff just gets thrown on the floor, but you need a spot to store things that you don't want to get too beat up. So these are the hood struts that I got that will replace the clunky prop rod that comes in a Mach 1. If you buy a $60,000 Mach 1, you get a prop rod. You buy a 64 Comet for a tenth of the price, and you get nice hood hinges. Okay, so like I said, I got these as a gift. These are, I think these came from American Muscle. They're the Redline Tuning Hood Quick Lift Plus system for 15 to 21 Mustangs. So we'll pop this box open, let you see what it looks like. So when you unpack this thing, first 5 minutes, you're just gonna be getting the stupid staples out of here, not cutting yourself to get it out of the box. But once you get it out of the box, things I like right off the bat, it comes with very detailed instructions in a nice bag. I guess they don't want that to get wet and get your instructions all wet, so it comes with that. It even comes with a nice little step bit. If you're any self-respecting person working on cars, you should probably have some of these already, but nonetheless, it comes with those. It comes with your struts and then some other little miscellaneous hardware here to install it. So we'll go ahead and read through the instructions, pop the hood, and get to work. So full disclosure, I did think that this was gonna take like 5 minutes, but the more I look at the instructions, the more I think this is actually gonna take a little bit longer. So you do want to make sure you got a couple tools here. So you need some sockets, looks like 10 or 13 millimeter deep well. And then we'll start following the instructions here. I do think I have all the parts. Okay, I'm gonna throw the time lapse on. It is so cold in here. Temperature, what's it say? About 30 degrees. So it is cold in the garage right now. I'm gonna put the time lapse on. That way you won't hear this. We'll play some music. I'll start doing the install here and then try and hit pause, interject in a few different spots, just so you guys can understand what I'm doing. So, of course, as soon as I said it was cold, I went and broke the top off my tripod to where my mount goes. Now I just dropped my mount on the ground. So I had to set up the time lapse in kind of a funky spot. Hopefully you can see it okay. It's super cold out here. You can see my breath right now. But let me just show you the first step. It's pretty obvious, but I didn't read the instructions fully, so that makes it a little more difficult. So let me show you the first step. Okay, so your first step right here, you basically got these are two 10 millimeter nuts. Use a 10 millimeter deep well works. Just a small impact, and you're gonna go ahead and remove those nuts, and then you put the bracket on over top. One of the brackets has a hole in it, and I think on the earlier models, this piece right here for your windshield wiper would clip into that. Because mine's a 2021, it says for all 2018 and newer models, this just plugs back into the regular hole. So you saw me undo that. You don't have to, just leave it there. Maybe just get it out of the way to install this. Use it on both sides, tighten it back up. I did use a straight edge to try and get this straight, and I'll probably come back and make sure that's even straighter in the end, but anyways, that's pretty easy. The next step is they're talking about removing one of the little push pins. So there's this little push pin right here, and basically just this threads out, and then you can pop the whole thing out. So for reference, this is the passenger side shock tower. This is the pin they're talking about. There's other pins further over, but this is the one they want. And then you just follow the instructions here. One key thing to note, there's a little seam, and it's hard to see right here, but kind of in the plastic, and that's what they want you to line this edge on, and then that's where you do your center punch. But I'm gonna put the camera down so I can get all that. Just follow the instructions, read the instructions like 3 times before you do it so you don't drill in the wrong spot. So the hole is drilled. Let me show you, let me really explain, because you're gonna have to read these instructions a few times to see what they mean. These are obviously the bottom of your hood hinges, and these little red pieces will go through the hole. I know when you go and look at it the first time, you're like, it ain't going through the hole. It will, trust me. You just gotta fidget with it. They do tell you to back this red part off until you've got only 1 or 2 threads showing. You definitely don't wanna drop this red piece in there, so you don't wanna have it so loose it's about to fall off. But if you don't have it backed off enough, it won't go in the hole. So on the driver's side, on an American car, and you want them pointing outward, they say. So pointing outward, this other one up here is pointing inward, and it will go in the hole. You just gotta fidget with it. We'll see if I can't show you on this side. But like I said, at first glance, you're like, there's no way it's going in there. And I may not even be able to do it on camera, but it takes some finagling. I'm gonna have to put my camera down in order to get in the hole. You can't just like set it in there. It's gotta be like fit in. Okay, so I got the other side in. They do say that the way that this is supposed to fit in the hole is, I know it's hard to see, but see how it's like that long ways? So basically you want it this way, not this way. So what they're gonna tell you to do is you pull up and you tighten it down, and the reason you're pulling up is you're trying to keep it so that part doesn't spin. So you want it going this way, and you're gonna slowly tighten it, you know, until you get it in there right. But they don't want it turned. But the thing is, you're not really gonna be able to see it. So I noticed as I was doing this, the red part wanted to spin. I think I'm gonna take a screwdriver, set it down in there and put a little pressure, and that way when I turn this, it won't be able to spin. But I had to pull up on this a little bit and just by hand tighten it down to get a little slack out of it. But I'm gonna try that with the screwdriver. Okay, once you've fidgeted with that for 45 minutes, no, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Make sure your positive terminal, mine was a little bit, it's like this boot wasn't sitting on here just right. I don't know, who knows. Okay, there's 3 tabs in the back here that line up with those 3 tabs. So I'll try and do this with one hand while also filming. Okay, the trick for getting that to line up, don't try and put the back in first and then force it over here. You gotta actually slip it up under here because there's not a ton of room. So you gotta pop it, and this is assuming you drilled your hole perfect, right? But you gotta basically get it up under here first, then go in the back and make sure everything is in where it should, and then this should all sit flush, and then your holes should line back up. Okay, so for these, you have to basically take this and you press that into the little ball stud. And they want the side that has the rod end on it, so not the side with the chamber, to go towards the bottom. And they do recommend that you put it on there and you wiggle it in place. Don't just shove it on there, because there's like a little C-clip and it has to fit on there, and obviously the other side will go to the top. You'll feel it. I kind of wiggled it back and forth. This side right here, as you can see, it's a little bit long, so I'm gonna try and lift the hood up with my shoulder because I'm by myself. If you had somebody else, you could have somebody hold up the hood. I'm gonna try and do it by myself and pop in the top side, then try and put it back on the prop rod, do the same thing on the other side. Well, there you have it. We got it installed. I went there right towards the end and just made sure those brackets were straight and tight. You could get rid of your prop rod if you wanted to by removing that bolt, but you know, if those struts should fail, it probably doesn't hurt to have a prop rod. But as you can see, you know, when you pop it, here, I'll start to lift it up. Boom. She goes up and up and up. There we go. Yeah, I almost think the hood is a little bit taller with the hood struts, which is good because it gives you a little bit of extra room. But yeah, that looks real nice. So I think maybe I will get rid of the prop rod, who knows? But that's what they look like installed. Pretty trick. out of your way, you can still get in there. All in all, this probably should take you, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less if you don't drop stuff like I did and it's super cold. But there's the install for you. Got the prop rods installed. Pretty happy with it. Definitely looks like it should go with the vehicle. There's even the cutouts in the fenders seemingly for it. So Ford, come on guys, put that on the vehicle next time. Hope you guys like this video. Hope it helped you out. Those instructions were a little more difficult than I thought they would be initially, so hopefully this video will be helpful for you guys. Hey, before we shut this video all the way down, I just want to say why I haven't really been filming a ton of stuff with the Mach 1. Aside from it being 30 degrees outside and kind of snowing off and on, I don't know, sometimes you get something and you're really pumped on it, and then it's like, I don't know, you need something different sometimes. So part of it is being winter. I had a lot of fun with it at the track, but I'm the type of person, if you can't tell, I like tinkering with stuff, and they're really taking it to this track. This thing's really good. I needed a project, and I wasn't working on my Comet, so I really dug in deep and started doing a lot of work on the Comet, and I want to kind of show you the Comet because I'm trying to get more footage of it on the channel. It hasn't been getting anywhere near as many views as my old truck did, or my older Mustang, my Cobra, or especially not the Mach 1. But let me just show you a couple of things, and maybe you'll find some of the videos interesting. I've got a lot more stuff that I want to do with the Comet. So we're gonna throw on some time lapses, and just so you can kind of see what I was doing. And maybe you guys will like the Comet and you can check out some of the content. So I'll just talk through that real quick and kind of show you where it's at right now. So more recently, I went ahead, I tried out some yellow film for these fog lights. I love that the Comet, the 64 Comet, has these 4 headlights in the front, and your low beams, your outer beams, your high beams, or the inner beams. I went ahead and changed them to yellow. I think it looks kind of trick. The big thing though is a lot of wiring. I did the American Auto Wire wiring harness in this thing front to back, and I installed new gauges. It's got some pretty cool gauges in it now. I put a tack in it, never had a tack in it. I kind of painted the floor. What else? If I zoom in over here, you'll see it. I had to patch the floor. I'll show you a time lapse on that. This thing just didn't have a ton of stuff. It didn't have reverse lights. I fabbed up a custom reverse light for it. I made a bracket for it, and now it has reverse lights, which is pretty cool. I did some other custom interior wiring. I made up this piece right here to mount in here with the same style LED light, so that way when you pull the switch for your lights, you've got a trunk light now. This could even work if you were broken down but you needed light in the trunk. This gives you a ton of light. So put the American Auto Wire harness in, and just been really tinkering around with this thing a ton. What else did I do? Let's see here. Oh, I had a huge hole underneath my battery box. I made a custom battery box from scratch and patched the hole, which you can't see, but it's underneath the battery box. And now that is all in. This thing, like I said, it's got the American Auto Wire harness, 175 amp fuses, so you can't burn this thing down, you know, knock on wood. And I think what I might be doing next for it is I may be putting in a 5-speed. So we'll see. I want to do more videos of the Comet, and I hope you guys enjoy it and check it out because it's a lot of fun for me to work on, and I want to make it a more fun drive. So yeah, I'm sort of at a crossroads right now. I'm trying to source some stuff for cheap. The Comet is a 302 with an AOD transmission. So 250s, this one makes a lot less power, and it's an automatic. And that AOD, it's out of like a 90s, who knows what. I think that engine looks like it was a truck motor from the Cassie numbers that I pulled. So maybe it was in a Bronco or an F-150 or something, and maybe that's where the transmission came from. But it's just a 3500 max. I mean, foot to the floor, first gear, and it's shifting at 3500. So I'm thinking about maybe going through American or Modern Driveline and ordering one of their kits. But to try and save money, I may roll the dice and try to pick up a used transmission. We'll see. But if I do decide to go that route, we'll get a T5, 5-speed in that, which will make it a ton of fun. Right now, it's a cool cruiser, but it's just doggy, and anything I do to the motor, you won't be able to take advantage of that with the AOD and that shift point. Now I could go and put a shift kit in it and different stall converter and all that stuff, but again, you know, everything on my channel is a manual. So that's a manual. That's a manual. My old C10s, both of them were manuals. My green truck's a manual. I mean, everything I've ever had that's fun is a manual, so why should that be an automatic? It's just not my style. So yeah, that's why I really haven't been doing as much with the Mach 1, because I've been super busy with that. But check out all the content, and hopefully we'll get you some more stuff for the Mach 1 here in the near future. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please do not forget to like and subscribe for me. I really appreciate that. And we'll catch you back next time on the channel. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.